Hi, this is Tranisha Cottrell, and today I wanted to talk about purpose. So, what made me want to talk about purpose today is, as some people may know, I've been going through this weird waiting season, and I say weird because for me, weird is a good thing. And also, when I think about normal, we don't know what normal is. So, what's normal to me could be not normal to you, or what's normal to you could be not normal to me. So, it's all a matter of perspective. So, when I think about what this weird waiting season is like, and I mean abnormal to me, it is just one of those things that really tests your faith. And so for me, of course, some of you might not know, but I went through this period of my life where I fasted, period of my life. It was like 2, 3 weeks ago, but still, I went through this period where I fasted. And during that time, I cut out all meat, all meat. And I did not do the Daniel fast, even though I wanted to. But I just decided I know it's going to be difficult because I do love a nice burger and things like that, and that may be that may be controversial, but and also it's just my own personal preference. It's not that I'm against or for either or. I just decided that this was something that I wanted to give up for God, especially to clear my mind and to have that personal relationship with him so I can grow my relationship with him. And so during that time, I just I felt like and if I want to be real honest and transparent, I just really felt like I was in this period where I was losing myself again. And it took a long time for me to find who I was, who I want to be, who I want to become, who God desired for me to be. And I could feel myself losing that again. I could feel myself wanting to seek attention or affection from someone, or wanting to be good enough for other people instead of focusing on what God wants for me. And I know, like, you might see other videos where I seemed like I was perfectly fine, and it's not like, and please know that if you're new to this channel, I'm not perfect at all. I make a lot of mistakes every single day, and not intentionally, but just as human nature. And so, as I'm going through this journey, I really have just been trying to focus on being the best me I possibly can. And it's weird because you can think, oh yeah, I'm here. I've reached the goal. I'm at the finish line. I've done everything I need to do. And then God will say, I'm not done yet. I'm not through with you yet. I still have things that I have to break off of you. There's still things that I have to teach you in the season. Like, I am, I don't want to say I am and claim that, but I used to be cynical. And what I mean by that is I would, I would always be thinking from a perspective of being, do I want to say clouded or overwhelmed with cynicism? I just would allow all of these negative thoughts to penetrate my mind and manipulate me into thinking that that's the truth, even though it's a lie. Things like, I'm not good enough, even though we're all worthy because we're created by God. And as long as you're doing the best that you can, you are worthy. Things like, oh, well, maybe it's because I don't look a certain way is why this guy didn't like me. And the guy is completely attracted to you. And it's just his own personal thing that he's going through, or his own personal preference. And you are not going to be everybody's cup of tea. And even though that sucks, even though it doesn't sound good to hear it at all, it's the truth. And so the sooner you face reality on your own, or even acknowledge your own flaws or take responsibility for yourself, the sooner you can be used as a vessel for God. The sooner you could start to look at yourself as good enough instead of trying to seek approval from other people, because at the end of the day, they're not going to pay your bills for the most part. At the end of the day, those people are not going to be at home with you alone while you have to look yourself in the mirror. So for me being the best version of myself is me handling every situation the best that I can at that moment. And so it will look something like someone tries to test my patience and my patience are still there. Or at the beginning, maybe I would have been like a little irritated and I might have said something, but now I might just hold my tongue and then just take a few deep breaths or something. Or it could be you don't do anything. It doesn't even bother you anymore. And the more that I learn about patience, the more that I learn that it's not just about being patient in one area or another. It's about being patient in general. being patient when it comes to your children, being patient when it comes to your family member or your friends, and being patient when it comes to God's timing, His appointed time that He has for things in your life. And you might be real patient when it comes to your children, but when it comes to when you're trying to get somewhere and the traffic is like 2 hours long or something, it might be like, oh my goodness, you know? So, or it could be that person that you have to see and they always want to try your patience, but you just have to be the bigger, better person. And if you can be in another area, be in another area. Do whatever it takes to keep your peace of mind because your peace is the most important thing. And sometimes it's easy to forget it because for me, while I'm on this lonely road, just kidding. While I'm all alone, let's not say lonely because I don't want to put that on myself. I am all in one alone. I'm not lonely. And so while I'm on this road where I'm all alone, I I am constantly noticing that sometimes it's like it's difficult because what you do or what God calls you to isn't something that everyone else does. It's something that you do, not everyone else. And so your friends, family members, people in your life are never going to understand what God's purpose is for you. And so when you say things like, I'm going to write a book, people are like, oh, okay. Like little, oh, you're going to write your little book. Like, no, let me stop. But, but they'll do things like that. And it's just like, they just don't understand. And sometimes it's not the fact that people are hating on you or they don't want to see you flourish. It's just that they can't see past what God put for their life. So when God puts something on you, it's better for you to keep it to yourself until the vision comes to fruition because you don't want to ever prematurely tell someone the vision or the purpose that God has for your life and then someone comes and tells you something negative or tries to make you feel a certain type of way about it and then you just stop. A lot of people who are so intelligent, who have the best ideas ever, they stop their purpose, they stop everything because of someone's opinion. And I really truly believe that sometimes that and our own opinion of ourselves is what stops us from fulfilling our purpose. So for me, during this season, I'm being really intentional. I'm being patient in areas that I have never been patient before. I'm so proud of myself. I know I'm pleased with myself. I know it's weird to say something like that, especially about yourself, but we really have to take the wins where we can. I don't mean you become egotistical and arrogant and just think that you got it like that. I mean, if we're not speaking life into ourselves, if we're not telling ourselves that we're beautiful, if we're not telling ourselves that we're intelligent or smart or worthy, then when someone else comes into our life, a friend, a family member, what have you, it's going to make us feel as if we need to seek validation from those people instead of finding that validation within ourselves because God created all of us. And so for me, it's just I just have to be really intentional during the season. Like I'm alone, but although I'm alone on this road, although there's not a lot of people who are doing the same thing that I'm doing, and I don't mean YouTube in general, I mean my whole purpose, everything that God's telling me to do. It's like I try to look up, like, oh, how can I do this? And it's not an example of how to do it. And so for me, it's just like, okay, God, you take the lead. I'm just following you, whatever it is that you want me to do. And sometimes it's just a season of rest. It's a stay there until I tell you to move again. And sometimes God will tell me to do things and it's so uncomfortable and I'm like, okay. So I really have to get outside my comfort zone to be able to fulfill my purpose. And I just, I really wasn't planning on doing a video at all. I just was around the house lounging. I know you're probably like most people that I see that's like, why are you lounging in this? But this is literally just a long sleeve, comfortable shirt and some leggings. Like I just, and I always put on like different earrings and this is just the everyday thing, even if I'm in the house. And so, and it's not because It's not because I'm doing the most, even though I am. It's because it's because I really truly feel like, and I love fashion. So for me, this is fun. Me putting together this outfit is like something fun that I get to do for myself. It's not that I want to do it because someone else wants me to do it or something like that. It's really just something that brings me joy. And so when I'm putting together these outfits, I'm literally like looking and making different boards, like not boards like in the room, like I'm in the FBI or something. Like and I say that because you watch a lot of TV shows and have the board with the strings. I don't know if people do that anymore. I don't know. But like a vision board. And so on my board, it's like a fashion board. And I'll put together these outfits and it's people are gonna think this is silly, but I even go as far as in my agenda schedule thing, I plan the outfit for the week, the outfits of the week. And so when I'm going in there and I'm putting together different outfits, I'll say, okay, like this week I might wear some light wash jeans or light blue jeans, and I'm gonna do like tan Uggs, or I'm gonna do like some sort of tan booty. And booties are like the ankle boots that have heels. And then I'm gonna do either a white top with my tan cover up, or I'm gonna do, what was the other shirt that I had to go with it? I can't remember, but it's like I plan all of these different things and I have like a hat with this and a hat with that, but I couldn't wear my hat today because my hair is like this and it would look like it would look like the Three Stooges. Like that one Mo I think had like the two things on the side and then the missing middle. Like that's what it'll look like if I wear a hat with this hair. So the only times I can really wear a hat is if I pull my hair in like a low ball or I have it straightened or something. And so a lot of the times in these videos you'll see me wear a hat, and the hat will be, it will be a hat with like a side ponytail or something like that because it needs to be flat. Like my hair needs to be flat and I don't want to take away the volume. Like sometimes it's like every day when I don't plan to do a wash and go, or I don't plan to wear my hair like this, it comes out good. And then when I try to plan it, it looks a mess. And so I'm like, I don't know what to do. I just go with the hair. Whatever the hair wants to do is what I'm doing. If I wake up tomorrow and it's a mess, I'm probably gonna put it in a ball or a ponytail or something, and it'll just be a thing. Sometimes I do high puffs, but I don't like the way the high puffs look now that my hair is a little bit longer. When my hair was really, really short, it was really cute. And now it's just, I know I'm going on about hair and this is not what the video is about, but I also think it's important because this is what takes a lot of my attention. This is what I'm doing in my resting period. This is what I'm doing while I'm waiting. While I'm waiting, I'm serving. I'm doing things that bring me joy. I'm doing things that are purposeful. Whatever it is that God intends for me to do is what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to make my own plans and create extra work for no reason. Like at the beginning, I'm not going to lie, I did that because I'm so used to constantly going and doing something with my life. And God told me in this resting period, it does not mean be lazy. It meant because I'm through with the resting period now. Now I'm back at the habit, back at a habit, or whatever you want to call it. What is that Sister Act 2 movie? Back in the Habit. That's what it is. So while I was in the resting period, God was saying, just be very clear. This resting period does not mean laziness. This means that I'm going to give you instruction when the time is right. In the meantime, just be consistent and do the things that I've already told you to do. No, it's not going to take up your whole day, but be intentional. Be a good steward of your home. Be a good parent. Be a good family member, a good friend. Serve in whatever way you can, because while you're waiting, you can do something purposeful without it being a constant thing. It could be something that is just intentional. And so while I was fasting, I learned about being intentional. I learned about having faith even if things don't work out the way that I want, even if I don't get that job that I wanted, even if I don't get that car or that house or that friendship that I wanted or that guy that I wanted. It doesn't matter because God has a bigger purpose for me. No matter who is or isn't in my life, they're all supposed to be there. And so I always pray, like I know this is a little personal, but I always pray, God, keep anyone in my life who is meant to be there and take anyone away from my life who isn't supposed to be a part of my circle or who isn't supposed to be in my life. Because in the past, I would choose the wrong people and I would surround myself with people who are toxic, or I would surround myself with people who meant me no good. And when I choose, it's that I guess I have that innate thing that, or that thing that kind of just draws me to certain people. And sometimes it could just be that we're hurting in the same way, or it could be that we went through something similar, or it could be they are real dangerous. I mean, I don't mean dangerous in like a news type of way. I mean dangerous in like a they're not good for me at all. Like being with them would be super toxic. Is and now that I'm healthier, I've noticed I've been attracting more healthy people, but it's just not the right time. It's not. And it's so weird because you could feel like you're ready and God could say no. Like this is what I've been trying to show you. Like I've learned so much from people that I've met recently and throughout this year. It's so crazy. Like I've learned that sometimes it's not just about you. Sometimes when it comes to friendships or potential people or jobs, it's not just about you being competent in one area or another, or you being beautiful or smart or whatever else. Sometimes it really has to do with someone else's own personal experience or things that they need in their life. And when God gives you what you need, it'll it'll be everything that you need. It won't be what you want. And so I've been learning that a lot lately, that no matter how badly you want something, if it's what you want and not what God says that you need, you will not get it. And it might sound like it's harsh, but in the long haul, it's more beneficial to your life. It's more beneficial to you. And so I would rather be on the side of God than on the side of society any day. I would rather be all alone, alone, all in one, than to ever be with someone who doesn't see my value or to compromise my standards for someone else's benefit. I don't ever want to be in another situation where I'm not appreciated, where I'm not respected, where I'm not honored. I want to be only in a situation that God wants me to be in. I want to be in a situation that's going to be beneficial to the kingdom. And I keep saying situation, I should say relationship, because I feel like that's hindering me in the long haul. Because if I can't even say the word, then there might be a problem. And so I really just want to be better and do better. I want to continue to just learn and grow and do whatever it is that God needs me to do. And for you and your purpose, always know that anything that God has for you for your purpose is not for everyone. So when you go to tell your family members and friends, like I said before, not everyone's going to see the vision that God put on your life. Not everyone's going to be able to understand, because sometimes if people feel like, oh, all I need to do is just pay bills and that's it, they won't know what it feels like to be, this is just an example, but they won't know what it feels like to be a millionaire or a billionaire. They won't be able to tell you how to navigate that life. They won't be able to tell you what to look out for. They won't be able to tell you what's that going to look like. And then even if they do have something similar, they will be able to give you some sort of advice. But when you're following God, the the directions that he gives you are not on the map. They don't make any sense to regular people, or they don't make any sense to anyone who he hasn't placed in your circle. And I don't mean in your circle like friends and family. I mean the people that he's placed to advance you to that level. The people in your life who are going to help you in one way or another be able to increase, to grow, to be in your purpose. And even then, whatever it is that God is intending for you to do is for you. It's not for everyone else. It's so that you could stay focused on him and not try to seek approval or validation from anyone else, because they won't understand. They Some people will never be able to see your vision until it comes into fruition. Some people won't. And it's hard sometimes because you're like, why can't this person be happy for me? Or why is this person trying to copy paste my life? And they're copy pasting it because you make it look easy, even though you've been through several storms, even though you had to go through so much toxicity and tragedy in order to get to this point. People want the good things, what looks good in your life, your highlight reels. They want all of those things that look beneficial to them. Like because you're being blessed in one area or another, they think that you haven't went through anything or that nothing bothers you because you smile. But I smile because God's in my life. That's the only reason why. It's not because I'm just this warrior woman who just can withstand anything. I get my strength from God. So even when I'm weak, He's strong. It's not that I just am bionic or a machine. I'm literally a human being like everyone else. The only difference is I seek God, and God carries me everywhere I need to go. He carries me through the hard times when I can't walk alone, when I'm trying to follow his path and I have no more strength to go on. I was I was so weak one day, like emotionally drained, physically felt like my mind was so exhausted that my body felt like it wanted to lay down and give up. And I know I'm sharing too much probably, and people are like, what? But yeah, I really was feeling a certain type of way. And I just felt kind of defeated a little, if I'm being honest. And I just was praying to God, and I was just like, I don't know how I can make it to tomorrow. Like, I don't know what I'm going to be able to do. I wanted to literally lay on the floor and cry. Like, I felt so weak, and I asked God to be my strength, and I could feel myself wanting to give up, and God was saying, "No, we're not done yet. Like you can't give up yet. Like I'm right here." And every time I talk about God, I start getting teary-eyed. I'm gonna try to stop doing that, but really, it's so real. Like it is. God is so good, for real. He really is. And I really didn't know how I was going to make it through that moment. And God just stepped in and was like, even when I wanted to give up, even when I wanted to lay down, I couldn't. I couldn't because God was strong for me in that moment. And it's just so, He is just so amazing. Every time I talk about him, I have to cry because if you knew my story, oh my goodness, if you knew this story, my learn from my misstep story, and that's only a part of it. That's not even the whole thing. And that's just one area of my life. It's not every area. It's just I never thought God could use somebody like me. I never thought that after all the mistakes that I've made that he would still see see me as someone that could be used, someone that could benefit the kingdom, someone who he would give a purpose to. I always thought that it was like I always felt like damaged goods after everything that I've been through. And I know not a lot of people are going to say that. They want to look and seem as if they got it all together and they're just always perfect and they always think this way. Like, no, I'm not going to pretend like that. I honestly go through some struggle, some hard times, that rain, the storms, the trials, the tribulations, everything, a lot of the times. But I also still smile regardless of the rain or the storms. You might see me on here, I'll be a little vulnerable and I'll tell you like I'm in a mood or something like that, but it's not a mood because I'm not blessed. It's a mood because emotionally or mentally I really feel like it's a lot. Like wow, like processing everything. Even when I'm blessed, it's like I, it's no way to explain it. I can't explain how I get blessed the way that I do. Like, of course, it's God. We know that. But if I had to really, like, try to drill down and pinpoint exactly where the blessing, how the blessings are made, like, how it happens, like, God just told me to go to this place. He didn't say you're going to this place to meet someone who's going to invest in your business. Like, it's just things like that. It makes no sense, but to God, it makes perfect sense because it was always part of his plan. And I was always part of his plan. And you were always part of his plan. He knew you from the day you were born. Every hair on your head, he knew. what your purpose was in this life. And ever since I rededicated my life to him, it has been awesome, amazing, like incredible. I can't even explain it. Like the emotions are there, the trials are there. Like I go through trying times where, I might be concerned or something that doesn't go my way, but not everything is supposed to go my way. This isn't the Trinisha show. This is the God show. And so it's all about what his intention is for me and what he wants me to do and how I can serve other people. And being unselfish is one of the best things I've ever been led to do since I rededicated my life to God. I mean, every once in a while, like every human, I'm like, but I really want this thing. And God's like, this is how it's going to be if you get this. 6 months tops. This is how it's going to be. Like you're not going to be happy. You're not going to be appreciated. You're going to have to just settle for the bare minimum with this situation. If you go this route, you're going to get played. If you like, and it's not just in that instance, it could be with a job. Like, no, this job might pay good money, but don't go there. Like, you're going to have to turn down a lot of bags, but, but your spirit and your soul, your mind will be at peace because you will be doing the things that I told you to do. And I will make sure that I make a way for you out of no way. I'll make sure that every person around you is not disturbing your purpose, if that makes any sense. Like everything will align. Like when God's in it, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like bowling a perfect strike every time. Like everything just lines up perfectly and flows. It could make no sense at all. Like go this place, fill out this job application. You don't have the credentials for this job and you get it. Like it's just I my last job that I was at, and I feel like I could say this because I'm not there right now. No, do I want to say the last job? I'll say most of the jobs that I've been at, God made a way for me. Let's just put it that way. It doesn't matter what my background was, it doesn't matter what I went through. Like God was just like management. Just like you're going to be in this position. I mean, and I want to say it, but I don't want to say it in a way that makes it seem bad. I want to make sure that people understand that you don't even have to have the money for a building sometimes. And God will say, go this place to this store. You're nice to one person and they become an investor in a building for you. Like, it's just things like that just happen. And sometimes it might be like you got offered $1 million and you got to turn it down. Like, it's because the money would destroy you at that moment because you're not strong enough to have that type of money or something. It's not always just like the blessing is just you receiving a bunch of stuff. Sometimes it's you not getting a bunch of stuff because you don't need everything. You really don't. You want everything because it seems like it will benefit you in your life, but it's not going to bring you happiness. It's not going to bring you joy and peace. The only thing that will do that is God. And so if you're seeking Him before all else, then He will provide a way out of no way, no matter what. And it's so true. Sometimes it's scary. Sometimes I'm like, I want to have a plan B, but the plan B is God. I mean, the plan A is God and the plan B doesn't exist. And so I have to continue to be faithful no matter what's happening in my life. And I don't want to make this video super long and just ramble on. So let's say, in conclusion, when it comes to your purpose, make sure that you have the intention of just following God and really use discernment. Don't just assume every person is from God or every job is from God, because sometimes Satan will make something look satisfying that will only bring you temporary satisfaction and leave your soul desolate or leave you confused or distracted or ultimately trying to destroy you and your spirit. And so you have to really be smart and wise about it. Wise when it comes to the way of the world and foolish when it comes to God. Like you might not know what his plan is, but he's going to lead you the right way. And if you follow society, it will lead you everywhere but to God. And I only say that because most of the time what majority is doing is not what God intended. It's just it looks good because a group of people is doing it. I would rather be all alone than all together any day. I'm not trying to be combined with anything that is going to burn my flesh, anything that's going to make me feel not at ease, that's going to destroy my peace. I don't want it. And so it could be the finest brother in the world. It could be the best paying job I've ever been offered in my entire life. It could be the friendship that looks like they're just going to be the most amazing friend ever. If God says no, then no means no. It does not mean, oh, maybe he means in a little while. Maybe he doesn't mean this person. Maybe he's talking about the person behind them. You know how we try to make excuses sometimes, like, it can't be this person. This person seems perfectly good. This job seems like it's gonna do everything for me. It's gonna make me happy because it's gonna give me money. But money is not everything. Like, yes, we need money to survive, but when you have God, He will provide a way. It's not, and I'm not saying be lazy and just be like, I'm all for you, God, with your hand out. Like, don't do that. You gotta still put in that work because faith without works is dead. Do you hustle so much that you get so busy and you're so constant that you neglect to use discernment? Absolutely not. Do you get so lazy when you're resting that you just feel like you need a handout? Absolutely not. What you do is you work, you listen to God's guidance, you follow it, and you be intentional, especially when it comes to your purpose, especially when it comes to you focusing on your relationship with God. And and also, when you are in your purpose, it might feel like no one else knows what you're going through. And sometimes nobody knows because this is the first time it's been done. But nothing's been done until someone does it. I mean, there's things that people that make history, they didn't have a guidebook. They didn't have someone telling them how to do it. They had to figure it out. They had to trust in God. And that's exactly what I intend to do. And I hope that for you and your purpose, that you don't allow anyone to destroy the vision that God's giving you, that you don't allow any person to come in and distract you from your purpose, any person that you're not supposed to be with, any job, any friendship that you know is just longevity and not quality. Like, everything in your life that is not benefiting your purpose, that is not leading you to a peace of mind or allowing you to just feel at peace with yourself and feel respected and honored, is not worth it. There's no amount of money in the world that would ever make me want to feel like I want to sell my soul for it. What does it profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul? Absolutely nothing.